Alright, so we have Tafon and Nchukwi, who's moving up to 205, or back up to 205, and he's facing Mike Rodriguez. So Mike has a 4-inch height advantage and a 5.5-inch reach advantage, and a lot of guys are going to have that on Tafon, on the frame that he has. Well, maybe not the reach advantage, but definitely the height. In regards to the striking, for Tafon, he's able to strike in either stance. He's primarily southpaw though, same with Mike Rodriguez. Both are southpaws really, naturally. He's pretty slow, pretty labouring, you know. I think if I had to characterise his style in a word, it'd just be tank. Like, he just comes forward, he just accepts what you have to give him and just keeps coming forward. And he's got a bit of power in his hands for sure. Does carry it for 15 minutes. We'll be able to knock you out in the last 10 seconds of the round. He does carry that power till the end of the fight. He's got a nice stiff jab, counter left hook. He likes to cut off the cage to his opponent's left and then throw that left hook as they circle to their right. And he will do the same, just vice versa, or just reverse everything there when he's in southpaw. Also works the body well with his hands, bop, bop, rip to the body, left hook, left rip to the body, right rip to the body, stuff like that. But his head doesn't move off center line, so, he is there for the jab. As we saw in his last fight, just got his face jabbed off, really, by Jun-Yong Park. When he lets his hands go, they're nice, though. He does have fluid combinations, mixes in the kicks well, mixes in the body shots well. He likes to finish a combination with a high kick, as we saw in the Contender Series. Nice high kick. Looks for the high kick off the clinch break. I don't know how much success he's going to have with the high kick in the light heavyweight division, because the guys are going to be much taller than him. But it is quite a nice high kick. Nice switch high kick when the opponent's circling to their right. He tries to cut off the cage, make a move in a certain direction, and then he can land his shots. But he's also just trying to make you move in a certain direction so he can land his punches as well. And that's what I mean by fluid combinations. He reacts to what you're giving him. For Mike Rodriguez, he's a southpaw as well, as I mentioned. Seems like his style is pretty heavily inspired by John Jones. Like, if you watch him fight, you'd probably draw John Jones comparisons. I'm not saying he's anywhere near the level of John Jones in the terms of striking. I just saying I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the inspiration came from for his style. Because he likes to keep it rangy. He throws a lot of jabs, a lot of teeps. He's very light in his lead leg. Likes to, keep that lead leg just kind of elevated a little bit so he can flick out the teep, the lead leg teep, and also check leg kicks. He likes to finish a combination with a low kick, body kick versus orthodox opponents. When he's facing an orthodox, he'll just, pump the teep out, just teeps to the body just constantly. He can overextend on his straight left when he does throw it. He will throw the naked straight left and 1-2. He will overextend on that a bit, and it's just dangerous against Tafon, because Tafon will look to not slip it, because he'll probably just eat it, because he doesn't move his head too much, but he'll probably eat it and then come back with a counter, because, Mike's just a little bit off balance, can't really throw anything when you're off balance, and then you can look to counter your opponent while they're off balance. But one thing Mike will do is he will back up in a straight line, so, not ideal, especially with a guy who's going to be looking to come forward and close the distance, because he is at such a reach and frame disadvantage, or a range disadvantage. So yeah, not ideal. In the clinch, where both these guys generally do most of their grappling, not too much of offensive wrestlers, either of these guys. For Tafon, he's active in the clinch, knees to the body in the clinch, rip the body punches in the clinch. He's very active in the clinch. For Mike Rodriguez, he's strong in the clinch as well. Muay Thai plum clinch in general. Knees to the body, really got that strong grip on the neck. Pulls it down, knees to the head as well. Frame off elbows in the clinch. Who did he get that with? Who did he get that on, sorry? I think it was Prachnio? Yeah, Prachnio. I think he just side elbows to the side of the head. That was nice. Yeah, but both these guys very good in the clinch. In grappling situations, this is what I'm talking about, grappling situations, like wrestling situations. Tafon, he will rely on brute strength to kind of muscle through grappling exchanges instead of technique. But I'm not expecting too much grappling in this one, honestly. How these guys win fights? For both have nice clinch offense. For Tafon, he's got good volume, he's durable, he's got good pacing. How these guys lose fights, so for Mike Rodriguez, he has poor takedown defense. Also does slow down late in fights. I feel like the process is accelerated when grappling is involved. Both have like zero jiu-jitsu. Tafon, he's just very hittable and he's just molasses slow. Past a victory for these two. So for Tafon, look for forward pressure. Don't give him any space for the teeps and stuff like that. You don't want to give him space because that's what he likes. He wants, you know, distance. He wants to be rangy. You don't want to give him that. Look for bodywork to deplete his tank. You know, maybe body kicks, but just generally clinch up and, you know, kind of punch to the body there. Be active in the clinch, punches to the body, knees to the body. Look for foot sweeps as well. If you can get on top, that's fantastic. He's probably not going to be able to get back to his feet. Well, he'd probably be able to against Tafon, but, you know, it's just another thing you can mix up. Look for takedowns. For Mike Rodriguez, look for the jabs, the twos, keep distance, get some respect. Don't let him just walk you down. He's the much smaller guy, so just, you know, really look to sit down your punches. He doesn't move his head that much. Inside low kicks, outside low kicks if he's an orthodox. Check his returning leg kicks, body kicks, teeps to the body. He has that high guard. Tafon just keeps the guard up really high, so your teeps to the body kicks will be open there. Clinch up after if he swings and misses, look to clinch up and, you know, use your size in the clinch. Like, don't let him push you against the fence. Look to reverse it, grab the underhooks, Muay Thai plum clinch knees. You'll be able to get your knees up much easier than he'll be able to get his knees up. How I see the fight going? Nchukwi is going to be quite undersized at 205, and I don't think his tank-like style of just walking forward, absorbing the opponent's shots, and then trying to return with his own, I don't think it's going to be very effective at this weight class, honestly. The guy is very hittable, and pretty much everyone cracks at 205, like, except for maybe Paul Craig. Like, everyone cracks. And he's going to be at a power and size disadvantage in basically all of his matchups at light heavyweight. Not to mention the speed as well. Dude is molasses slow in general. He's probably going to be giving up the speed advantage to a lot of light heavyweights. Mike, he's a lot bigger. He's a natural 205er. He would have to cut a leg off to even have a chance at making 185. He cracks too. He's going to be connecting with Tafon quite a bit. I'd like to see him let his hands go a little bit more than he usually does. He can be a little reserved with his boxing. He's been primarily using his kicks and the clinch since he got KO'd by Dong Jung. So I don't know if there's a bit of trepidation there in regards to boxing exchanges, but I guess he hasn't really needed to use anything besides his kicks and his clinch in recent fights. Like, Danilo didn't really give him any time to do anything. Danilo just got straight into the body lock and took him down. The kicks and the clinch were doing the most damage to Herman, so he didn't really need to punch a whole lot. Also, Prachnio just didn't know how to defend the Muay Thai plum clinch, so, you know, he just grabbed onto that and didn't let go. But if he wants to beat Tafon, I think he's going to have to throw his hands, unless he can keep, distance with just his kicks and his teeps, which might be enough to keep Tafon at bay, you know. Junyong Park, he just kept Tafon at bay with just the jab, and he pretty much beat Tafon with just a jab. So, you know, might be able to do it, but I'd prefer if he just threw his hands. Both are very good in the clinch. I think Mike's size is going to help him a lot in the battle of the clinch. He'll have a lot more leverage than Tafon that he can use. Also, elbows and knees will just come a lot easier to to Mike Rodriguez than Tafon and Nchukwi because of the height and just the ease of access that he has with that height. But yeah, Mike's issues in the UFC, they've been primarily caused by getting taken down and controlled on the mat. Not really a concern here, although I could see Tafon going for a few takedowns, but I don't think they're going to materialize into anything meaningful. I could absolutely see Tafon's pace and pressure wilting Mike Rodriguez late, but I see the power and the size of Rodriguez just being too much. He's going to do some damage early on, I think. He's either going to finish Tafon in round 1 or 2, or he's going to do enough damage in rounds 1 and 2 to warrant a decision. So that's how I feel. Let's have a look at the betting lines. Alright, so if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. I have Mike Rodriguez by TKO round 2. I think the line should be flipped, basically the pricing right now, but I think Mike Rodriguez should be that much of a favorite. So yeah, Mike Rodriguez at plus money I'd like, you know, maybe a bit above that at just above a pick'em, but I think I'm going to be betting Mike Rodriguez at this price. Yeah, you know, Tafon is a tough stylistic matchup for Rodriguez. He could definitely melt Rodriguez late and really, you know, kind of make Rodriguez wilt under the pressure, but I think Mike's going to hurt him pretty badly early. But yeah, Mike has huge holes in his game. You don't really want to bet him as a huge favourite, but he's not. And when he's a dog, he's kind of interesting. Mike Rodriguez inside the distance. Tafon is tough and he's never been finished, but he's gonna be hitting. He's gonna be getting hit with some bombs here. So if Mike Rodriguez inside the distance is like $4.50 or plus 350, maybe I'd have a look at that. But I like the money line, honestly.